Hello and welcome to a tutorial on how to create student Weebly sites and then attach those to your teacher class Weebly page so that your students will have their own sites to use primarily as a place to host their blogs, which can then be easily accessed from your class page. All right, so let's go ahead and walk through this process. I'm at the main Weebly page here. I'm going to log in. All right, first let's go ahead and take a look at my class page so we can clear up some misconceptions. It seems as though when you're on your editing page here that you can go to pages, and this is the place where you create all of your pages for your website, and hopefully you've already gotten kind of into this creation stage here so you know what that's about. But what it seems as though all you would need to do is when you create a new page here is to select a blog page and then just title it with a student's name, so maybe Sally's blog. Choose the layout that you want and save it, and that's about it. I'm actually going to go back into pages. When you create a new page, it's going to throw it down here at the bottom, so let me go ahead and move that up to where I have a page called students and then a sub page called blogs, and then right underneath of that. So it seems like that's all you would need to do, and then okay, so you've created a blog page and you've assigned it to Sally, and you save it and you're good to go. So it seems. Okay, so when you publish your site though, I just came up here and clicked publish right there, and then when we visit the website, go to students, blogs, and now here's that page that I just created, Sally's blog. So we can visit it, but there's not any blog posts here. Well, of course, because we just created the page, but the problem is Sally's not going to be able to put any blog posts here at all because she doesn't have access to the editing features on this particular website. So what it boils down to is that Sally needs her own Weebly page that she has her own login information for, so she can create a blog page of her own, and then we'll link it here to the teacher page. So first, let me go back in and delete this Sally's blog that we created. And here's another one that I was playing around with earlier, Sally's site. I'm going to delete that as well. This one this is another pretend student that I've created, and this one is set up correctly, so I'm going to leave that so I can play around with that later. But let's go ahead and create another one together. So what we need to do is go back to the main Weebly site, and we need to go here to my students. Okay, and you'll need to choose add a class. And go ahead and give it a class name. And select a grade. And I like to make my student sites private, and so you'll need to give it a class password. So all your students would know this one password, and they could of course share it with their parents and family members. Anybody that is trusted to be able to view their sites, and especially to go onto their blog page and be able to read their blogs, because that's what blogging for students, or for adults for that matter, is really all about, is to get some viewers and get some readers and to get some feedback from the things that you or your students are writing. And that's really the magic of blogs, and where the fun comes in is to gain some readers who follow your blog, hopefully, and read the new things that you enter. So your students hopefully will be entering new blog posts on a weekly basis, and hopefully they'll have some family members and of course you, their teacher, and fellow classmates following along their blogs and giving them feedback and encouragement. So, okay, let's go ahead and select a class password, and I'm just going to choose password for right now. And we'll create that class. Okay, and so here's where we can add a student now, and I'm just going to create student Sally Smith for her username. Go ahead and make that Sally. Maybe let's try Sally Student. Not available. Sally Smith 99. There we go. And the password, you can see right here, passwords can be changed later, so you'll need to set this up originally for your students, but if they want to change their passwords, if you give them the okay, then they can do that. So for password right now, we'll just stick with password for Sally as well. Okay, and then I add her. All right, we should be good there. So now what Sally would need to do, actually, hold on. Yeah, no, we could, right there, we could give Sally that login information now, and what she would need to do is go to students.weebly.com and log in. With the login information that we created for her. And okay, I messed that up. Sally Smith 99. I think that's correct. All right, there we go. Okay, and when Sally logs in the first time, she'll need to give her website a title. We'll pretend we just finished a recent lesson on alliteration, and Sally was pretty excited about that lesson, and she's going to go ahead and use some for her website title here, Sally's Super Site. Okay, so we'll save that. And then here you can see that the students pretty much have the same features as you do when you create your class page here on Weebly. There's a few minor differences, and if you kind of look around and explore, you'll notice those, but really it's very similar, and that's an awesome thing in my opinion, because all the stuff that you learn through the time and labor that you put into creating your class website, then you'll be that much better at teaching them how to build theirs. But what I like to start off doing is just having my students create 2 pages. So it's automatically going to start them with a home page that they could edit the image here and of course add some pictures and titles and some paragraphs and things like that here on this page. But then I also ask them to create a blog page, and so that'll end up being right here. And that's all they're allowed to create at first, is just their home page that they can kind of design to their taste, and the blog page. If they do a really good job at those two and are excelling in class and doing all the things they need to be doing and doing well, and they're good at building the website, then later on I might allow them to add some more pages if they have a plan for it and they have specific things that they want to put on those pages. So, but for now, it's a good idea, I think, just to start with a home page and a blog page. So you'll walk them through and you'll teach them how to do this. Go to pages, add a page, and we'll just select blog page. And I need to give it a title here, so I'm going to go ahead and title this Sally's blog. And you have a couple of different layouts here to choose from, of course, just like normally on your teacher page or your class website. And we don't need to do this here because the Sally's entire site is already password protected, so I'm going to go ahead and click Save Settings. So now when Sally's ready to blog, she'll just come here and log in and click on her blog page, which I was already there. She can, of course, edit this image, create a new headline here, maybe something about this being her blog page, and here's where she'll create a new post. So I'm just going to do something quickly here. Oh, I guess I have to actually pull one of these elements down. I forgot about that. I'll pull down paragraph. Okay, so we would hope that students' blog posts would be much longer than this, but I'm just going to go ahead and stop there. Just so we have an example of a blog post. So Sally posts her first blog post here, and she's going to publish this. Of course, you'll want to teach students that if they're in the middle of a blog post and they're not finished, that they can save it to drafts. But let's pretend this is finished and go ahead and publish it. And Sally hadn't chosen a domain yet, so let's go ahead and do that. sallysupersite.weebly.com is available. And that doesn't have to match the title of the site. It can be something different. Okay, we'll continue. Okay, we had a little glitch there, so I had to pause the video for a moment, but we're back ready to go here. Okay, so now it says that the new post is published. And if we wanted to click on this link here, we could go directly to the live website and view it, but I'm going to go ahead and close that for right now. We're going to take a look at it in a minute. Okay, so Sally has her own Weebly page here. Here's her home page, and then her blog page. And she has this first blog post right here. One thing I forgot to mention was about blog settings. So if Sally wants the comments to be open, she just leaves it open here. Or she can choose to be closed or require approval. But you'll want to think about that as a teacher. If it's closed, then nobody would be able to read. Nobody would be able to leave comments at all, including yourself. So I would either select open or require approval. But I think even the require approval might get kind of tricky within a classroom when you're wanting all the students to be able to easily leave comments on one another's blogs. So probably open is going to be the way to go. And remember, anybody's going to need the password to get into the into the student sites anyway. So should be pretty safe that a safe bet that anybody who gets into the student websites should be okay to leave comments. And then students can also change some of these things, like if they want to be notified via email when new comments are made on their blog. And there's some other options here. I'm going to go ahead and let you explore those. So I'm going to save changes. All right, so let's go back to the teacher perspective here. Actually, I'm going to open up another tab for a moment and go back to Sally's site because I need that URL address. So what I'm going to do now that I'm back on Sally's site is click Publish and follow this link here. That way another window opens. Oh, I need the password there. Okay, and here's the URL for Sally's Weebly website. So I want that because on my teacher page, I'm going to need that link to create a link for visitors to my class website to be able to access Sally's Weebly page and her blog. So I'm going to copy that and then go back here to my teacher site with the editing features here and go to pages. Alright, so now I'm going to add page again, but not like I did in the beginning where I tried to create a blog page, because as we went through in the beginning of this tutorial, that doesn't work because students won't have access to that. So what I want to actually do is create an external link page, and we'll go ahead and call this Sally's Super Site. So we'll assume that as a teacher I got that title from Sally after she created her site. And I mean, and you could put anything there, right? To begin with, just the student's name at least. And then once the students create their sites, and if you want to update them to match the actual title of their website, you can. And here, I'm going to go ahead and paste that link and save it. Okay, now I need to go back to pages. And remember, when you create a new page, it puts it down at the bottom. So I want to move that up as a sub page under my students page and my blogs page. Put it right there. Save that again. All right, I'm going to go ahead and publish the page now that I've made some changes. Okay, I'm going to close that. What I'm going to do now is open up another browser. Only because if I use that same browser, it's not going to ask me for the password to view Sally's site, and I'm hopefully wanting to show you what it should look like for parents or any other visitors that the password is given to the first time that they go to try to access it. So here's my class page, and when I go to students, blogs, Sally's Super Site, there we go. It asks me for the password, which we made just password. Okay, so if I'm Sally's mom or dad or some other relative that had been given that password, I could go to Sally's class website, which was right here. So Sally would need to give me this website or send me a link, mrball.opes.weebly.com for this particular website. And then I would direct them on how to find my site. It's not asking me to put the password in this time because I just did on this same browser. And I would ask them to visit my blog, and they could see my posts here. See, here's that first post that we created, and they could add a comment since we left comments open. And it does require that you leave a name. So let's say that Sally's mother's name is Susan. And she just wants to leave a quick comment to Sally. Okay, something like that. And if Sally's mom, Susan, wanted to be notified when comments were posted back in reply to this comment, she could select that there. But I'm going to go ahead and just submit this. And there's the comment right there. So when Sally goes back into her blog page, she will see any comments that have been left under any of her blog posts. So that's pretty much all you need to do. Actually seems kind of like a lot now that I went through it here, but so you just basically need to, let me get rid of this, need to start off just by going to my students, creating a class, and then adding your students, giving them that login information. Don't forget to make their sites private, so a password is required to view the sites. So then give your students the login information, and then they log in just as we did as Sally. Create that, well, the home page will already be created, so they'll need to create that blog page. Start putting their blog entries, and then you need to go back to your website editor and add pages. Go to pages here, add page, and remember you're going to create an external link page for each of your students, and each time you'll need to have copied or memorized or written down the URL to each student's website that they created, so that when you create this you can put that link right there so it links directly to their site. Don't forget to publish after you make changes. And that's it. Alright, hopefully now you have your Weebly page, your class page set up, and you know how to use the elements, and now you know how to create a class and add your students and have them create their own Weebly sites specifically with a blog page that they can then use for their blogging throughout the year. And you have those linked here to your class site. Okay, I hope that you found this helpful. Thanks for watching.